Australia's One Nation Party has won its first ever lower house seat in what is being seen as an important test for the right-wing populist party. With most ballots counted, One Nation candidate David Farley has won an unassailable 60% of the primary vote in Farrer, a vast regional constituency in New South Wales. Independent candidate Michelle Millthorpe is far behind.
39 people have been killed in another day of intense Israeli strikes in Lebanon. The country's health ministry said one Israeli strike on the southern town of Saksakieh killed at least 7 people, including a child, the ministry said.
Palestinian family in the occupied West Bank has been forced by Israeli settlers, reportedly under military protection, to dig up their father's grave and rebury him, which the United Nations is condemning as appalling and dehumanizing. 80-year-old Hussein Assassa died of natural causes on Friday and was buried shortly after in a cemetery in Assassa village near Jenin. Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez is heading to The Hague for a land dispute case with Guyana at the International Court of Justice, ICJ. The trip to the Netherlands, announced on Saturday, will be the first time she's left home since the abduction of President Nicolas Maduro by US forces in January.
Iran has indicated it will take part in this summer's Football World Cup, but has demanded a series of guarantees from FIFA and the tournament's hosts amid growing tensions surrounding the team's participation. The Iranian Football Federation, FIRI, said Iran would compete at the tournament without any retreat from our beliefs, culture and convictions, while insisting the hosts must take our concerns into account.
Manchester City kept their slender Premier League title hopes alive as Jeremy Doku inspired a 3-0 win against Brentford. Pep Guardiola's side struggled to prize open Brentford for almost an hour at the Etihad Stadium on Saturday.
General Motors has reached a privacy-related settlement with a group of law enforcement agencies led by California Attorney General Rob Bonta. Back in 2024, the New York Times reported that automakers, including GM, were sharing information about their customers' driving behavior with insurance companies, and that some customers were concerned that their insurance rates had gone up as a result.
And Washington, with repeated chants of Pakistan Zindabad echoing through the hall for nearly 3 hours. The Pakistani embassy here on Friday evening turned into a charged expression of national solidarity and, as members of the diaspora pledged unity, resilience and renewed commitment to the homeland in the aftermath of last year's India-Pakistan military confrontation. The gathering marked the first anniversary of Mark-i-Haq and, described by the embassy as a testament of historical significance to Pakistan's unity, resilience and unwavering national resolve, and unfolded in an atmosphere that blended formal diplomacy with sustained emotional intensity.
Washington. Pakistan has significantly expanded its lobbying and strategic communications footprint in the United States, signing a new $1 $2 million contract with a Washington-based advisory firm as it seeks deeper engagement on defense cooperation, critical minerals and broader economic diplomacy in an increasingly competitive policy environment. According to filings submitted under the U.S. Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, Irvin Graves Strategy Group LLC registered on May 1 as an official foreign agent of Pakistan's embassy in Washington under a 2-year contract valued at $12, requiring payments of $50,000 per month for its services.
Minister for Finance and Revenue Senator Muhammad Aurangzeb on Saturday said Pakistan's economy continued to show signs of recovery despite ongoing regional tensions, citing strong growth in large-scale manufacturing, exports, remittances and foreign investment inflows. Airing a news conference alongside Minister for Petroleum Ali Pervez Malik, The finance minister said the country's large-scale manufacturing LSM sector recorded 11% year-on-year growth in April, while cumulative growth during the first 9 months of the current fiscal year stood at 6.5%.
Greek authorities have rendered safe a naval drone carrying explosives after it was discovered in the Ionian Sea by fishermen. The unmanned vessel, suspected to be of Ukrainian origin, was found in a cave near Lefkada on Greece's western coast on Thursday, with its engines still running. Greek bomb disposal experts removed its detonators and battery. Israeli attacks across Lebanon have killed at least 19 people despite a United States-brokered ceasefire, now in its third week. In a statement on Saturday, the Lebanese Ministry of Public Health said an Israeli attack on the town of Al-Saksakiyeh in the southern Sidon district killed at least 7 people, including a child, and wounded 15, including 3 children. Al Jazeera's Tarek Abazuaz reports from al-Shati refugee camp, where families search through the rubble after overnight Israeli airstrikes despite a ceasefire. Residents described the attacks as a breach of the truce, saying they lost shelter, belongings, and the only places they had left to stay. The parent company of Donald Trump's social media platform, Truth Social, has reported a loss of more than $400 meters in the first quarter of 2026, driven largely by the slumping value of cryptocurrency assets. A March 31 company filing shows that Trump Media and Technology Group, TMTG, reported revenue of about $870,000 for the first 3 months of the year, with a 6% rise in net sales.
The leaders of Lebanon and Syria have concluded talks in Damascus focused on joint interests, as both countries pursue a rapprochement following the overthrow of longtime Syrian President Bashar al-Assad almost 18 months ago. On Saturday, Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam said significant progress had been made in the discussions with Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa, which covered security, transport, infrastructure and economic matters. Marka Haq is a defining landmark in the nation's journey, the military said on Saturday as Pakistan marked the first anniversary of the brief war with India. In a statement released by the Inter-Services Public Relations ISPA, the military said that the brief conflict demonstrated Pakistan's measured and resolute response and exposed adversarial conspiracies, false flag narratives and disinformation campaigns, diminishing their credibility internationally. The moment after a Frontier Airlines plane killed a person who was on a runway after jumping a perimeter fence at Denver International Airport on Friday night is captured in air traffic control audio. "We just hit somebody," the pilot tells the control tower after halting Flight 4345's takeoff. "We have an engine fire."
And the Royal Navy is sending a warship to the Middle East, where it could join an international mission to safeguard shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. HMS Dragon, a Type 45 destroyer, will pre-position in the region ahead of its potential role in what the Ministry of Defence, MOD, described as a strictly defensive and independent mission.
Tehran, Iran, as the United States awaits Tehran's latest response to texts for an agreement being exchanged through intermediaries, Iranian authorities and state-linked media are emphasizing that they consider control over the Strait of Hormuz more important than ever. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghaei told reporters on Saturday that Iran was still reviewing Washington's proposal. Qatar has sent a large shipment of liquefied natural gas, LNG, through the Iran-controlled Strait of Hormuz, which is now headed towards Pakistan, according to a Bloomberg reporter. Shipping data shows the LNG tanker Al-Karaitiyat is currently navigating toward Pakistan, becoming the first serious attempt to export Qatari LNG through Hormuz since the US war started in late February.
and the Sindh government has announced advance payment of salaries, allowances and pensions for Muslim government employees and pensioners ahead of Eid al-Adha. According to a notification issued by the Sindh Finance Department, full pay, allowances and pensions for May 2026 will be released on May 20 instead of June 1.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said on Saturday that Pakistan can neither be intimidated nor subdued by any aggressor as the nation marks the first anniversary of Marka-i-Haq, last year's confrontation with India, beginning with the April 22 Pahalgam attack and the subsequent military conflict, which resulted in a resounding victory for Pakistan until the ceasefire on May 10 is now referred to by the state as Marka-i-Haq, Battle of Truth.
Islamabad. The PTI has demanded the formation of an independent judicial commission to conduct a transparent, impartial and credible probe into the events of May 9 to bring the suspects to justice. The party has termed May 9, 2023, one of the darkest days in Pakistan's political history, when former Prime Minister and PTI founder Imran Khan was arrested from the premises of the Islamabad High Court. He is currently incarcerated in Rawalpindi's Adiala jail, where he is regularly denied meetings with family members and party leaders.
And media watchdog Reporters Without Borders, RSF, has condemned Niger's suspension of 9 French media publications as the military government continues to crack down on journalists. Niger announced the suspension on Friday, citing repeated dissemination of content likely to seriously jeopardize public order, national unity, social cohesion, and the stability of the institutions of the Republic. And in an increasingly AI-driven and digital world, analog instant film and retro-style cameras remain popular, fueled by a combination of both nostalgia and charm. Instant cameras in particular and stand out for their simplicity and an experience that has remained largely unchanged over time. Fujifilm's $175 Instax Wide 400 builds on the familiar instant photography experience and expands it with a wider format. And as someone who appreciates simple, easy-to-use instant cameras and often shoots with an Instax Square, I was interested in trying a model that offers larger prints and support for landscape photography. And dozens of candidates scheduled to appear in the Federal Public Service Commission's FPSC General Recruitment Test Phase I 2026 were left stranded outside exam centres after staff at some venues reportedly appeared unaware that tests were due to take place. And one of the main scenes of confusion emerged outside Ali Abbas Shahid Model College in Islamabad's G62 sector, where candidates gathered after arriving for their scheduled exam, and only to be told there was no clear information about any test being held there that day.
Punjab schools and colleges may begin summer vacations earlier than usual as the provincial government reviews the academic calendar amid rising temperatures and heatwave concerns across the province. Punjab Minister for School Education and Higher Education Rana Sikandar Hayat said the government is considering starting summer vacations from May 22 and reopening educational institutions on August 2.
And a well-known bakery in Islamabad's Blue Area was reportedly raided by the Federal Board of Revenue, FBR, with the outlet also said to have been temporarily closed to the public. The bakery in question is Tehzeeb, one of the capital's most recognizable food brands, and news of the reported raid quickly spread on social media, where customers also began sharing pictures of receipts and tax charges.
Israel is set to release two Gaza-bound humanitarian aid flotilla activists who were abducted by Israeli authorities. A rights group has said Saif Abu Keshek, a Spanish Palestinian, and Brazilian Thiago Avila will be freed on Saturday, according to a statement from the rights group Adala, which was representing the two men.
hand. A person has died after jumping an airport fence in the US state of Colorado and being struck by a Frontier Airlines plane, according to authorities. Denver International Airport said the unusual incident occurred late Friday after the unidentified individual gained access to the tarmac.